and welcome back to my channel, or if it's your first time, welcome. I have an anxiety tick, and I say quite a lot. I am working on it. It actually annoys me too, so I just want to apologize in advance because a lot of people message me about it. Yep. Anyway, so when I'm doing my YouTube videos, obviously, or maybe it's not obvious, I don't know. I do actually a lot of research before I put them together because I don't just want to give you my opinion because it might be bullcrap. And it's just my opinion, obviously. So I actually read, and I find very interesting, different scientific papers and journals, and I also listen to like podcasts, YouTube videos, etc. from different psychiatrists, leaders, I guess, in their field at the moment, relationship, love experts, life coaches, and sex therapy experts as well. And so when I was doing research for my upcoming video on, what are the essential, I guess, emotions or tools that you need for a long-lasting relationship, and I'm not talking just a year, because I know some people think a year's a long time. It's not. I'm talking like, decades or a lifetime even, right? And so I came upon this really interesting, I don't even know if I can call it a fact, okay? So there's a little bit of like, I guess, debate on whether it's a fact or not, but I think, so we all know, like, obviously body language is important, and body language, there is a science behind it, right? So I've done a couple of, courses on body language, micro expressions and stuff, and I actually find it extremely interesting. But in saying that, it is not an exact science. And the reason why I say that is because okay, let's take pupil dilation, okay? If somebody's pupils are, they say, or not they say, so some people say, oh my God, his pupils were so big and round and like, full, so he must be in love with me. No, probably not. I mean, he might be, but maybe not. He might have love or affection for you, especially if you know that person, and obviously light also affects pupil dilation, especially if the room is kind of dark, and stuff like that. Like there's you can't take that as a definitive, is basically what I'm saying. You can't say, oh, if their pupils were dilated, then they must be in love with me, because you'd probably be wrong. I guess I can live on hope for you that you were right, and you may have been right, but there's definitely like, either, there's an emotional connection there, whether it's friendship, could be your family. Okay, if it's your family, you're probably not going to be saying they're in love with you, because that's weird. But there's generally like, affection and an emotional connection and love there, but it might not be in love, and it could be lust, just saying. So obviously, like with body language, there's it's not perfect every time. There's certain micro expressions that you can't really avoid, like you can't stop yourself from doing, and one of those is the deception micro expression. But even then, it's only like 99% kind of right, I suppose. And I could have that percentage wrong, by the way. I can't really remember the exact percentage, because like, so I guess like deception is, something that they're doing, because you can't avoid that micro expression, right? But it could be that they are lying, or they're just covering something up that they're embarrassed about, and so that's the deception. Like, it might not always be horrifically bad or something like that. So you can't just rely on the micro expression or the body language, right? But there is a science behind it. It's really, really interesting. I find it extremely interesting, it's just something that I am always intrigued by, mostly because, and I'm going to tell you why I was intrigued by it. Actually, I'll tell you why I first started to study body language and micro expressions, is because I grew up in foster care, you know, and sometimes I still miss signs and stuff like that. I had something really horrific happen to me last week, and I had the signs there, I had the gut feeling and stuff like that, and I still ignored it. So, you know, nobody's perfect, I suppose. Yeah, I won't be ignoring that again. Anyway, the reason why I got really into body language and stuff like that was to pretty much vet potential foster carers. Yeah, so I would do talks. I haven't done one in a little while, and I would really love to get back into them, but we are a little bit low on foster carers at the moment, I have to say. Actually, we've been probably low on them for a little while, but so potential foster carers, right? They would come in and I would hop up and I'd basically say, you know, so a lot of people, and I realize this video is like, I'm meant to be giving you a fun fact here, or not a fact, but a trick. Anyway, but I just want to give you a little bit of background on, like, you know, why you can't always take body language and stuff like that. And but certain body languages you can be pretty certain, you know, something's going on there, that you're right, or your gut feeling or whatever. Gut feelings are a thing, by the way. You know, don't ever ignore those. Do not ignore your gut. Go with it every single time. Even if you're wrong, doesn't matter. Go with it anyway, because the chances of you being right is really high, okay? So, so I would talk to foster carers, right? And this could be at a foster care camp, or like a potential induction for foster carers. And so I would hop up and I would say, like, this was my experience. This is kind of why I went into foster care. I wouldn't give a lot of details of why I went into foster care, because, you know, that brings the vibe of the room down quite a lot, and that changes people's body language and micro expressions quite a lot. But I would give enough so you can pick out your narcissists, without a doubt. You can pick them so easily. And you can also, you know, pick out people who are going into foster care for the right reasons. So they want to be foster carers for the right reasons. People seem to think that being a foster carer means money. It freaking doesn't, okay? So, can I say freaking? Anyway, you are taking a child into your care. You are taking a broken child into your care, okay? So, you know, and I've got to scan a room and pick these people who are not fit to be foster carers, okay? And look, I'm not an expert in the field or anything like that, by any means, you know, because that would cost them a lot of money, and that's money they can be putting towards something else. But coming from, you know, being broken, actually I'm still broken, working on that, but you know, still healing, which is one of the reasons I do these videos. You can still spot, like, you know, people who, and in the interview process they then ask certain questions, like, you know, they're kind of probing questions a little bit, okay? So basically, obviously your narcissist you can pick straight away. They can't really hide. I know they think they can, but they can't. You know, they can put on a facade for a little while with certain people and stuff like that, you know, especially empaths. They kind of like stalk empaths a little bit. Anyway, we'll do a video on narcissists later because they really annoy me. But so you can pick them straight away and we cross them. Straight away, they're out. You still ask them a couple of, you know, questions, just because you want to leave room for error, right? You know, because I'm not an expert, so you want to leave room for the fact that I could be freaking wrong. And then you pick the people, like you say, kind of like, I really hope no potential foster carers are watching this, but I'll have to change up my questions. But, you know, you talk about, you know, what a child needs when they go into foster care, right? Now, people who genuinely want to know what they can do to make a child, a broken child, or teenager going to foster care comfortable, and to ensure that they give them the best environment and the best, you know, care that they possibly can, because they've come from, I was going to swear them, but I'm not going to. They came from a horrible, horrible circumstances, okay? So you talk about like, so a lot of people think when kids go into foster care, they, all they need is love and hugs and clothes and stuff like that. And yeah, they do need clothes and they definitely need food, okay? So make sure you feed them. But love and hugs, if you touched me when I first went into foster care, I probably would have ran away or punched you in the face. Or something like that, kicked you in the nuts, okay? So obviously I say to people, do not do that. Let that child come to you when they are comfortable, because they have zero trust for anybody at that point. I mean, none. Zip, zilch. They definitely do not trust you. They might trust your dog, but they do not trust you. So, you know, you kind of have to go, you know, don't keep your distance, but do not touch them. Let them touch you. But make sure that they know that you are there. And you can say to them, you can actually say the words like, look, I'm not going to hug you because I understand that that could be confronting for you. But I want you to know that I am here and willing to hug you when you're ready. You know, it's okay to say those words to them so that they know that you are actually there, and you're not just there to, you know, feed them and put clothes on their back and send them to school, right? And, you know, and the way you show love to them isn't by hugging them and all of that, right? It's more like feeding them, putting clothes on their back, positive words and positive affirmations to them, and just positive energy in general. Do not ask, and I mean this, do not ask at any stage, and I mean any stage, what happened to them in their home to put them in foster care. I'm serious. Don't ask them that, because that is the best way to get somebody who is slightly opening up to go easily. They don't want to relive that shit, okay? Can I say shit? Anyway, they don't want to relive that, so don't say that to them, okay? Ever, 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 okay? If they come to you and want to talk about it, that's different, but definitely get the damn therapy, okay? And I don't want to say don't give them a choice in therapy, but really encourage them to go to therapy. I don't care if you have to bribe them. No, don't bribe them. I'm kidding. But really interact to them. And you know what? When I speak at foster care camps, I really speak to therapy. Like, you know, I talk about, like, I wouldn't be the person I am today without therapy. And it's really, really, really important to pair up with the right therapist. So if you have to go through 10 therapists before you get to the right therapist, go through 10 therapists, because that person is kind of in charge a little bit of your mental health and helping you get your mental health and heal and stuff like that. But you have to use the tools that they give you. If you don't use the tools that they give you, well, you're wasting your money. You know, you have to use the tools, okay? But yeah, I often, like, obviously some kids in care, and I was one of them. Some kids in care are like, I don't want them to spend their money on me, so I don't need therapy. I'm good. I'm in a safe house. Actually, the first foster carers I had were not safe at all, but still better than where I came from. Imagine that. But anywho, so, you know, like, make sure that they know that therapy is provided for them for free, and it is. You know, our New South Wales government, I don't know if it's Australia-wide, but I will find out. But definitely our New South Wales government have a victims compensation, which covers therapy. It starts out with 22 sessions, and then, you know, whatever sessions you need after that kind of thing. Yeah, have therapy for your life. Just saying. Anyway, you know, so they know that you're not paying for it. You know, it's provided for them, and it's important. It's really, really important. So if you are in foster care, or even if you are suffer from, if you're an adult and you've suffered from childhood trauma, you know, or complex post-traumatic stress disorder, which is what I have, you know, and you're an adult now, you can still apply for it. Please do. Like, if you are struggling and it's affecting your relationships and stuff like that, please apply for it. Yeah, it's really important. And make sure you get the right therapist. There's plenty of therapists out there that are registered for this, you know, so make sure that you do. I actually didn't know about it. My therapist told me about it, you know, so, and now I'm spreading the word to everybody because it's really important. So yeah, obviously at foster care camps and stuff like that, which sadly I haven't done in a little while. I had a few traumatic things happen to myself, and I didn't feel like that I was in a place to, like, you know, be able to give the best advice at that time. But I'm all good now. You know, we're forever healing. It doesn't, even with people with everyday life issues, we're always healing, right? So, you know, I used to be really embarrassed, and I wouldn't like most people to talk to me. I have a very positive, pretty much, outlook on life. You know, I'm just happy to be alive, to be honest. Every single day I'm thankful to be alive. And so, and I want everybody to, you know, feel good when they're around me. Don't get me wrong, I have my days, you know, where I'm like crying on my friend's shoulder, you know, snot and all, and they accept me, so that's good. You know, so, and I'm obviously there for them as well. And, you know, I worked really hard to be that person. You know, I've never really looked at myself as a victim. I've always looked at myself as a survivor. But you also need to kind of realize that, you know, you did go through some horrific stuff, and you don't need to feel shame about that or embarrassed about that. So I'm kind of, you know, I won't say I'm spreading the word, you know, to say, like, you know, it's okay. Hi, we're here for you. You know, me too. You know, me too. I've been through stuff. I'm here. Like, you know, if you want to talk, you know, it's nothing to be ashamed of, and it's nothing to be embarrassed about. And I'm pretty much an open book on that stuff, because it's also part of my healing, is to not feel shame in that stuff. Yeah. So obviously in most of my videos, I will often share something about myself, and yep, sometimes I cry, because sometimes you get flashbacks and it's horrible. But I would rather get a flashback and know that I've helped one person than, you know, basically sit on my hands and not help at all. Okay. So I know that, like, I kind of went pretty much completely off track and, you know, down the road and, you know, hit the highway a little bit on that one. But I felt like it was important to have, you know, that kind of background on, well, not only to share a little bit about myself, but also that background on body language and micro expressions and stuff like that. Because what I'm about to tell you, like, whilst they're calling it a trick and stuff like that, there is elements of truth to it, and there is science behind it. Like, you know, is it like, you know, actually, I'm just going to tell you what it is, and then, you know, anyway. So something I found while I was doing research for my next video is, like, the left eye emotional connection trick, or I really don't like calling that a trick, but anyway. So basically, the theory behind it, or the thing, is that so it comes from when you gaze at your baby, your right eye is, can't tell my right from my left. Anyway, your right eye is kind of looking at your newborn or your baby's left eye. And I guess the interaction from the optic nerve kind of is going around in the brain. This is the best way I could explain it, sorry, is going around in like the brain, and it's impacting, like, the amygdala, where emotions, you know, come from, right? And it kind of creates that emotional connection, or of, like, you know, trust, love, and, like, affection, I guess. So that's kind of where it kind of came from. It came from the bond between mum and baby, dad and baby, siblings and baby, right? That's kind of where it came from, because you know that's the initial connection, that's the bond that you kind of develop, and that's kind of where the science behind it kind of came from, right? So now apparently, you know, and I don't know how true this is, I don't know, I guess there's different interpretations of it, like it'd be true to a because like I guess holding someone's gaze or, you know, eye contact is like, one, it's respectful, and two, it's respectful in some cultures, but in Australia it's respectful. Okay, I apologize if it's not respectful in your culture. I do not mean any disrespect at all. They're now kind of saying that if you meet somebody, and I don't know if it's like when you first like meet a stranger, but I'm going to get to that. Anyway, if you are talking to somebody, whether it's the opposite sex, same sex, somebody that you're attracted to, right? Somebody that you're attracted to, or even somebody that you want a friendship with, you basically look at their left eye with your right eye, then you gaze, like for, I don't know, a second or something, then you gaze down to their lips and then up to their right eye, right? And that's meant to kind of do the same thing as it does with, you know, the babies, with your amygdala. Why can't I say that word? Anyway, same kind of thing, that connection, you know, love, trust. It's an emotional connection, okay? Whether that's like in love or attraction or, you know, friendship or whatever, right? That's what it's meant to kind of do. It's meant to have that immediate connection or immediate feeling, that warm feeling of trust and bond between the two people, right? I believe that would happen more if you kind of knew the person and you weren't really sure if they were like, you know, if they trusted you or whatever. I don't know. I think it would work more with somebody kind of new for a little while, not like a complete stranger. However, I don't know that for sure. So, because I'm a curious kitten, for the next week, I'm going to be staring at strangers. And I'm going to be trying out this little trick on different strangers. Here's hoping I don't end up on a watch list somewhere. If I do, I apologise to my family and friends. If not, I will be back to share my results with you. So, you know, I'm really interested to find out whether or not it works. You know, I give eye contact to people pretty much all the time. It's very rare that I don't have eye contact with people because, you know, it is respectful. Kind of the only time I don't give eye contact with people is if I'm highly emotional at the time and I'm trying to stop myself from crying or being really angry, which doesn't happen very often. And even then I'll probably still give you eye contact, to be honest, and be trying to stop myself from punching you in the face. No, I'm kidding. I don't punch people in the face. I kick them in the nuts. No, still kidding. Not violent. Not violent. Well, not always violent. Not unless you really deserve it. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm actually a really friendly person. So yeah, so basically I'm going to be trying it out on strangers. So if you're watching this video and you see me downtown and I see you cross the street, I'm chasing you. No, God, Jody, stop. I won't chase you, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, that's a joke. I'm not going to chase you. I don't run. So yeah, so you're safe there really. But if you are watching this video and you do know me, the chances of me doing it to you is pretty slim because I know you and I'm going to do it to strangers. So yeah, so stay tuned for the results from that, I guess. And if you have any like experiments that you would like me to do in the way of like you know, body language or anything like that, please let me know. I'm sure there's lots out there. Or if you would like me to discuss a topic in particular that you know, you would like to know about, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. So that's all from me today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like my videos, please subscribe. I will be so grateful. Thank you and good night.